Rasulullah. Welcome to another session of our Aqidah series, which is our first, normally our first series of the day, Alhamdulillah. And for this series, we have been discussing the importance of understanding the implications of that Shahada. And our understanding of the Shahada should be the same understanding that those original companions had. And also, not just that, but also we should implement the Shahada into our daily lives the way that they implemented it into theirs. Okay, so subhanallah, guys, this is the most important class. Because as I've been stressing to you over and over again, if the belief system of the Muslim is not correct, then none of our good deeds are accepted. This is why, and again, to answer the question of the new converts here, you guys give me this question all the time, and I know that it's hard for many of you to accept, but you're gonna have to submit to what Allah says. This is why there will be no Christians in paradise. Paradise is the reward for those who lived their lives in this world, submitting to Allah's laws, submitting to His rules. So it doesn't matter how good a person your mother is. If your mother dies upon any belief system other than Islam, none of her good deeds are accepted. And this is to the sister that I just got off the phone with not too long ago. I mean, I've explained this to you before. And as a daya, it seems that this is the hardest reality that many new converts fail to accept. You know, you want to be in paradise, of course, and you want your parents to be with you. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the same way. He loved his uncle Abu Talib. He loved him. But Abu Talib did not convert to Islam. He remained a kafir. Okay, he remained upon the religion of his forefathers. And Allah had to let the prophet know. I mean, this is it. You know, he will, no matter all his good deeds, whatever good deeds that the non-believers do in this world, Allah rewards them in this world. Just like Abu Talib, he lived a rich, good life. Your mother, if she's a good person, she's living a good life. She'll live to live a long age, and she'll have a nice house, nice car, and enjoy her life. But unless she embraces Islam, that's it. This is her paradise. That's it. That's all she has coming is this world. And this is the reality, sister. There's no other way that I can explain it. There's no other way. There's no sugarcoating it. It's the reality. Allah tells us in numerous verses that He will not accept any other way other than the way of Islam. And the simple fact that you said that you've talked about Islam to your mother cannot say that she didn't know. Okay? She heard about this way of life. She heard about Allah. She learned about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because you said you detailed these things to her. You said your husband has detailed these things to her. So that's it. She's just like Abu Talib. You're going to have to accept that reality and move on. Okay? But make dua for her. Don't ever give up. As long as she's still living on this earth, there's always a chance that she may convert. You heard the story of what happened with Umar yesterday, radiallahu anhu. When my cousin Mukhtar talked about Umar was one of the enemies to the Muslims. Okay? He hated the Prophet Muhammad. He hated Islam. But look, through the dua, through the supplication of the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah changed his heart. So you never give up hope. Keep making dua for your mother. and keep talking about the religion to her. Okay, but to answer your question for the 20th time, no, there will be no Christians in paradise. There will be no Wiccans in paradise. There will be no Buddhists. There will be no other way other than total submission. You understand? And what these other people have told you, that's not authentic either. And by the way, let me share this with you guys. You guys can't see what she's typing because it's a private group on Facebook, and that means it's not showing. Wait, let me make it's not. I can't get it to show up in here. Whenever it's a private group, which your comments don't show up in there. But y'all can't see what she's typing, but she's saying here that let me type here, by the way, to bring in Trovo. Trovo, y'all here too? There, that should bring in Trovo and Twitch. Okay, she was saying that some Muslim told her and her husband that hell is divided into different levels, that there's one level for the Jews, there's one level for the Christians, and then there's another level for the Muslims. And this brother told her husband and her that her mother, if her mother does go to hell, she won't be in the worst part of hell. She'll be in the hell with the Christian, where the Christians are. This is not true. And we have to be careful of these fairy tales that people tell us. Okay, hell does consist of different levels. But there is nothing that says that there's a certain level for Jews or Christians or Muslims. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us that the levels of hell go down. The lower the level, the worse the punishment will be. And the people who will occupy the lowest levels of all are the hypocrites. And who are the hypocrites? These were the people who said that they believed in Allah, but in reality, they didn't. They knew the truth, but they rejected it. They will be in the lowest levels. That's the authentic hadith. So Allah knows best who's going to hell and where he's going to put them. But my point to you is there is no authentic hadith that says that there's certain levels for different religions. That is not authentic. That's just another fairy tale that's made up. So you have to be careful who you take your knowledge from. When people tell you things like that, they have to be able to support it. If I tell you that there's a specific something, a specific number, a specific location, a specific time, that's one of the signs of innovation if I don't give you the dalil. So if there's a specific level of hell for your mother because she's a Christian, then this person that told you and your husband, he should have produced the hadith. And there is no hadith that says that. Okay, so be careful of that. But the bottom line, sister, keep making dua for your mother and keep talking to her about the religion, and perhaps she will convert. Never give up. We have until Allah pulls the soul from our throat to convert. Just last month, one of the scholars of our website, Dr. Ibrahim Jamali, his mother-in-law was sick and dying. His mother-in-law was Chinese. Right before she died, she took Shahada. And they had been, her daughter had been trying to get her to convert for years. She never did. But right before she died, she finally saw the light and she declared her Shahada. Okay, so there's always hope. Never give up hope. Keep praying for your mother and also keep explaining the religion to her and never lose hope. But don't try to change the religion to accommodate your mother. You understand? Don't tell her stuff like that. A special hell for her. That's not true. Okay? All right, so let's get to the class today. And by the way, there will be a quiz at the end of today's lecture. So you want to take notes and you want to pay attention during the class. Okay, and so what we've been discussing is how our way of life is based on not just testifying that we believe in Allah, but also we're testifying that we believe that He and only He is the only one worthy of worship. And because He is the only one worthy of worship, that brings about certain other principles, which are that our allegiance is to Him first and foremost, and then our allegiance is to His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then our allegiance is to each other. And when we speak about allegiance to each other, what does that mean? That means that any Muslim, it doesn't matter whether they're wearing a hijab or have a beard, whether they're practicing or not. The simple fact that he or she says that they are Muslim, that means that their life, their honor, and their property is sacred. You guys know we talked about the hadith, whereas one of the companions went on an expedition, and right before, as they were fighting, one of the enemy declared la ilaha illallah, that he was Muslim. But this companion killed him anyway, thinking that he just said it to save his life. And the prophet was angry. He said, could you see inside his heart? So our judgment, whether you think that person is a Muslim or not, is irrelevant. The fact that they testify that they are, that means that their honor, their life, and their property is sacred. And the companions understood this. Because after that incident happened, that's when the prophet really laid down the law about this. Okay? So we don't go around determining who's a Muslim and who isn't. We simply accept that the person says they are, and those three things are sacred, but we do watch their behavior. We watch their actions. Because that's what the companions did. And when we watch their actions, we determine whether or not this person is worthy of being in my circle, my circle of friends. That's what we're going to talk about today. If this is someone who I should allow into my home, into my environment, into my abode. Okay? We have to be choicey. I can't judge what's in your heart, but I can judge your actions. And I can look at your actions and say, based on your actions, you have some issues in your practice of this religion. And because you have issues in your practice of this religion, I choose to distance myself from you to a certain level. You are my brother in Islam. You are my sister in Islam. If you need help, give me a call. I'll throw you some dollar bills if I can. You need help, I'll be there to help you. But as far as allowing you to get close to me, to enter into my circle of spirituality, I can't do that, because the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us that faith goes up and down like a pot of boiling water. It changes. You know, we can be strong in our faith right now because you're listening to me talk about Allah. All of us are reminded of Allah. But once this lecture ends, we look around at the drama around us with the family, and hey, our faith will go right back down. The people that you're surrounded with, they can impact your faith. your practice, whether you pray, whether you wear hijab. If you're hanging around with a bunch of sisters who don't cover up, you're going to be inspired to not cover up either. You're hanging around with a bunch of brothers who smoke marijuana and smoke cigarettes. Guess what? You're going to end up smoking marijuana and smoking cigarettes too. We are who we associate with. This is why the companions, they were the ones that came up with the concept, as we talked about yesterday, of putting people in three categories. Three categories. Whenever a person new came around, or whenever they came into the company of other Muslims, they would size them up. They would look at their actions and behavior and decide if this is someone who's warranted of all my allegiance. Or is this somebody that I show allegiance to on one hand, but disassociate from on another? Or is this a person based on his actions, his lifestyle, that I totally stay away from? Those are the three categories. And it's not to cause division. It's to make sure that you keep your iman intact. Does everybody understand that? We're still going to be kind and gentle with each other because we all claim La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. We're still going to have compassion for each other because we all profess La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. And we're going to have empathy towards each other. But I'm going to size you up as to where you fit in my circle. Do I put you in my circle or leave you one foot in, the other foot out? Or do I totally tell you goodbye? Can't come around here at all. That's what we've been speaking about for the past 2 days. And you should be evaluating your relationships. Each and every one of us should be evaluating our personal relationships to size up how we should be with those relationships. So let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen. And I did post up the page number yesterday. We're still in chapter 3 of the last part of the book, volume 1. This is chapter 3 of volume 1, which is the introduction to the second volume of Diluting Well Better. So you guys should be up to date with me here. Let's see. That's my PowerPoint. So what we're going to do today is continue where we left off yesterday, speaking about the importance of a faith-filled environment. Yesterday, we spoke about the importance of having a faith-filled environment. We spoke about the importance of sizing up one another to see how close we should be with each other. Well, today we're going to speak about the significance of doing this. So get out your books, follow along. This is the section header. It says significance of a faith-centered environment. Okay. And I really like the way Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd put this together. He did an excellent job putting this chapter together. Creating a faith-centered environment is one of the most important aspects in the Muslim's life. Environment is everything, guys. Because in Islam, our allegiance to each other, to Allah, and to the Prophet is a fundamental principle. Okay? And this allegiance entails showing love and kindness and showing dedication to those who uphold the true teachings of Islam. And at the same time, they reject those and anything that oppose it. This is why I'm always telling the new converts. I'm in 3 convert groups here. I tell you, sisters, before you even think about a husband, forget about trying to find a husband. That ain't important. Once you convert to Islam, the first thing you need to do is find a good faith-filled environment for yourself. Because there's a hadith whereas the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the greatest weapon that we have against shaitan is each other. So rather than concentrate on a man, you better concentrate on what masjids in your community, in your city, adhere to the Quran and the Sunnah. What masjids in your city has a good leader who you can go to for advice, who you can also go to for guardianship, because you cannot get married unless you got a guardian anyway. Okay? So that should be the priority of the new convert, is trying to seek out an Islamic environment to so he can or she can be surrounded with practicing Muslims that can help us in our journey towards paradise. That's the priority. At least it's supposed to be. Okay? So to build a supportive Muslim community and to create an environment is very essential, guys. That's the priority, even before you marry and even upon conversion to Islam. By doing this, we are aligning ourselves with individuals who share our beliefs and values, and who can help to strengthen our faith and remind us of our purpose. For example, if you are a new convert to this religion, let's say that you live way out in the country, there's no masjid near you. How are you going to keep your faith strong? There's no Muslims in your city. You're the only Muslim. I was in that situation for 5 years. Okay? I lived in Southern Ohio, the foothills of Kentucky. It was the roughest 5 years of my life, but I got through it. I was the only Muslim they ever seen. The only Arab they ever seen, the only minority they ever seen. I was living in Hunkiesville, USA. Hunkiesville, USA. It was horrible. Stared at all the time, whispered when you walked by. I even had a person try to run me over with their shopping cart. Hello. Rough times. But I had no choice, because it was my job that put me there, and I was getting ready to retire. So I held on. Okay? But a lot of people ain't strong enough to hold on, to be the only Muslim in the whole city, to be looked at. Okay? If you're in that situation, then that should be your priority, to get out of that situation. Your priority for you new sisters who had just recently took Shahada. A couple of you have called me and told me that you live in Hunkiesville, USA. What do? It's time to move before you think about getting married. It ain't about no marriage. No. What you gonna do? Marry a Hunkiesville person that don't believe in Allah? No, you got to relocate. Your priority should be, because you are a woman too, that to move someplace that has other Muslims. Okay? Environment is everything. You're going to need that support system from other Muslim women. You're going to need that support system from the leader of the community. So the priority is, let me get in the phone book and see what masjids are close by. I'm going to do research on each one of these masjids and see what type of methodology they follow. And I'm getting ready to get busy and move. I'm going to look to see what the cost of living is, the prices, the apartment, get me an apartment, get up out of here. Transfer my job, get up out of here. One of you is a nurse. You can get a job anywhere in the world, sweetheart. Finding a job is simple for you. So before you even think of marriage, sister, you need to be moving to the next town that has a masjid. And I'm sure there's people dying, because a nurse, that's one of the most viable professions today. Okay? Listen to what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. He said, a man is upon the religion of his best friend. So let one of you look at whom he befriends. If this hadith doesn't tell you why it's important to be careful who you choose to be around, to live around, then something's wrong with you guys. So this hadith shows that a person's companionship, whoever you choose to have companionship with, should be upon the same way of life as you. You know, I have another student here. She asked me the question. She started working some new job. Oh, Sister Layla, there's Muslims here at my job. Oh, okay, alhamdulillah. But they don't practice, they don't pray, they don't cover up, but they meet up twice a week to talk. Can I hang out with them? I had to tell her, why would you hang out with some non-practicing Muslim woman, and you a young single woman too? Don't you know that if you hang out with them crazy women, you're going to end up taking off your hijab and become like them? You already got issues in your personal life. Why would you surround yourself with people like that? Non-practicing people. You're going to take on their behavior, their belief. Common sense, guys. So and the companions understood this. They were not quick to open up their arms and their homes to people they didn't know. They would ask you, who's your friends? If a new man came into Medina, the companions would ask that man, where are you from? Who do you know? Name some of the people that you know. That's how they would check them out. You can tell a lot about a person from who their associates are. Okay? So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is advising us to take friendships only amongst people who believe La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. I know a lot of Muslim women here who have non-Muslim friends. Oh, we grew up together. Well, y'all grew up together and grew apart. She still cannot be a close, intimate friend because her lifestyle is not like yours. She drinks. She fornicates. This is the horrific sins. Okay, you shouldn't be associating with people like that. Those are kind of people that we distance ourselves from. We distance ourselves from people because they're like that, because their lifestyle is nothing like ours. The Prophet told us to be careful who we take as our friends, and he also said, don't allow anyone to eat your food unless that person's God-fearing. What does that mean? A lot of you Muslims like to invite your non-Muslim friends over to your house to eat. Where do y'all get off doing that? You'll never see a kafir in my house eating. Okay? The Prophet said, be careful. He said, only allow the righteous people into your home. Subhanallah. Because again, you have children. This is why for my Islam Q&A show a couple of months ago, one of the new shahadas, Sister Savannah, I think it was you, right, Savannah? Savannah had just converted to Islam a little bit before that. And she has a brother. Remember she asked the question. She said, Sister Layla, my brother is LGBTQ. She said, so what do I do? Do I allow him to come? No, he's a bad influence to you and your kids. No. Why would you allow somebody that's LGBTQ to be around your children, making your children think that that's okay? So the simple fact that your brother's lifestyle is totally against our principles, you distance yourself from him. If he needs help, you can give him some help. If he call you up one day and say, hey, sis, I need some money because I'm about to get thrown out in the street. Okay, I'll give you $200. But he can't come in your house around your children or around you for that matter. You deal with people from a distance like that. Because this is one that we distance ourselves from. The same with if the person was a drug dealer. Would you let your drug dealer's brother come around you and your children? Perhaps he'll have your children smoking drugs, drinking alcohol. No, you distance yourself from these kind of people. Yeah, he's my brother. If he needs help, I'll give him some money, to help pay his rent. But heck no, he ain't coming around hanging out with me and my kids. He ain't coming over my house to eat my food. And so for all you Muslims that did Turkey Day, y'all like to celebrate Thanksgiving. How many of you were sitting there eating turkey with your dope dealing brother, your stripper sister, your LGBTQ cousin? We got to think about this. This is not the way of the Salaf. The companions didn't put themselves in that type of company. Listen to what the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said. He said, take no one as a companion unless that person is a believer, and do not allow anyone to eat your food unless he is God-fearing. There's the dalil. These hadiths are all authentic. They're in the Sittah. They're all authentic Muslim. But all of these are in Sahih Muslim. So you guys have to be careful of this, allowing people to come into your house, to eat because they're your relatives. If they're not righteous people, they can't come in there. What did Habiba tell Abu Sufyan, her father? No, you can't come in my house. You're an enemy of Allah. Subhanallah. We don't have that integrity that the companions had. We don't have that faith that they had. Y'all see why they are better than us? Because you will allow your brother in your house when he's LGBTQ. You will allow your mother in your house when your mother smokes cigarettes and drinks alcohol. You allow your fornicating sister in your house with her fornicating boyfriend. And you will let them spend the night with you. Astaghfirullah. This is not Islam. This is not correct. This is not how it should be. And we wonder why our children are growing up apostating from the religion. Why our children are growing up confused. Because of us. How we don't implement well and well better. Okay? We have another hadith, whereas the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, verily, the parable of the good and bad friendships is like a man who sells musk and a man who works as a blacksmith. The man who sells musk, whenever you go around him, you will walk away smelling good. But for the blacksmith, whenever you go around him, you will walk away with your clothes burnt and you'll smell like burnt cinders. And this is a good parable that our prophet used to illustrate how they rub off on us. Whoever you associate with, their behavior is going to rub off on you. It's going to rub off on your children, the way they speak. Look at how our children walk around with that rap stuff. Okay, with that hip hop, that's what it's called, that hip hop swag, and that you got Arabic kids, Pakistani kids walking around talking like they from the hood. You got Arabic kids, Pakistani kids, Caucasians, walking around with that swag, that hip hop swag, like they Jay-Z and Snoop Dogg, babe. Come on. Association brings about assimilation. Your environment is that important, guys. So this is a wonderful hadith that we need to use with our children. When your children ask you why they can't go over a non-believer's house, or why they can't go around their cousins, if they have cousins who drink and smoke, you use this hadith as a reason as to why. And also, we have another story. Remember the story, the hadith of the man who killed 99 people. This man wanted to change his life. So he went to a scholar and asked the scholar for help. And the scholar advised him to leave your environment. He said, you come from an environment where all they do is bad things. He told him, you need to move and change your surroundings, change your environment, change the people that you associate with. And so the man listened to him. But as he was on his way to the next town to relocate, he ended up dying. And when he died, the angel of mercy and the angel of punishment were arguing as to which one of them should take his soul. And so Allah told them to measure the distance. How close was he to the new environment? And how close was he to the old one? The one that he was closest to, that's the one that would get his soul. Well, he was closer to the new environment. So the angel of mercy took his soul. This is one of the most beautiful hadiths because it has so many beautiful meanings. Number one, it shows that Allah forgives all sins, no matter how big or small. But also, the important point for today with this hadith is it shows how you need to change your environment. If you are a person that has bad characteristics, you smoke, you drink, you talk and cuss like a sailor. Look at the people that you're around. Look at the environment you live in. You need to move, change your friends. Start hanging around with people that don't curse. Hang around with Muslims who don't smoke. Hang around with Muslims that don't drink and don't do weed. And then you will end up changing too. Because again, you become what you associate with. Common sense. So again, that hadith shows the importance and significance of having a faith-filled environment. Okay? And that's why I tell you new shahadas, you sisters who are new to Islam, y'all got to get that marriage off the mind. It ain't about no marriage. Because right now your faith has not been tendered enough. Because all you're going to do is attract the same type of men that you were with before Islam. And there's a lot of bad Muslim men out there. There's a lot of bad Muslim men out there. Water seeks his own level. Your faith has not been cultured in your heart yet. So you're going to go looking for the same bad boys that you hung out with before Islam. And you're going to end up in a bad situation because those type of Muslim men can break your mind. They can have you walking around blowing bubbles in a nut house. So marriage should not be your priority. Your priority should be trying to find an Islamic community that's headed by a good imam who's upon the Quran and Sunnah with some nice sisters, practicing women who wear hijab, who can take you under their wing and guide you and help you in this deen. Okay? And again, when you choose the Islamic community, when you choose your friend, remember the three categories. You have to look and see, are these people who are warranting my loyalty? Or are they people who I need to distance myself from? Or are they people who I show loyalty on one hand and disassociate on the other? This is the criteria that the companions used. This is the criteria that we should use. This is the criteria when it comes to moving. Look at your location. When I had to move from Hunkiesville, when I lived in Hunkiesville, Ohio, the Ku Klux Klan territory, that's where I literally was. Okay. I retired. I moved right back home to Cleveland. Cleveland is a large metropolis. Cleveland consists of over 50 different suburbs. So I had to choose which suburb I wanted. And Cleveland is very, very cultural. You know, the Italians, that's Mayfield Heights, that's Lyndhurst. The practicing Jews, that's Cleveland Heights, University Heights, parts of Shaker Heights. Okay. I wanted the Arabs. You will find the majority of the Arabs in Parma on the west side, in Westlake, Parma. I didn't want to move to the Westlake. I didn't want to move to the west side. That's too far from everything. So I looked to the east side and I decided I want to move into an environment that has a good practicing community. I need a good mosque near me, even though my mosque is Mukhtar's and the mosque an hour away. But still, I want to live close to mosque in case I die. That mosque can take me into Mukhtar and them come get me, So, so I had to look at that, and I wanted a suburb that had Muslims, and I wanted to be of all different races. I didn't want to live in an all Arab suburb. I don't want to live in an all black suburb. I don't want to live in an all white suburb. I wanted diversity because I love diversity. So I chose where I live at. There's a mosque. I can walk to the mosque. It's literally 5 minutes away. 5 minutes in car, maybe 8 minutes walking. Okay, and it's a good mosque. And in my suburb, there's Arabs, practicing Arabs like me. I wanted practicing Arabs. I wanted to be able to look out my window and see women in abayas like me, because I came from Hunkiesville, where they made fun of me. So this is why I chose where I am. There's women that dress like me that live here where I live at. We got blacks, whites, Arabs, Mexicans, all kind of ethnicities here. So environment is everything. And that's the first thing we should look at. So for you new shahadas, you're like me. I'm not a new shahada, but I was moving from one part of the state to the other. And I did all that online. I looked online because I had been away from Cleveland for 30 some years. And it's changed. Okay. So that's what you do. You look at all that. Look at the ethnicity. Look at the diversity. Look at the medium, because you know me, I'm all about the money too. What's the medium? Where I live at, the average person where I live at makes anywhere from 70 to over 150,000 a year. That's what I wanted, a medium like that. I didn't want nobody that makes $20,000 a year. I didn't want to be in that medium, those type of people. I wanted upper class, 70,000 up. So that's why I moved here. All that stuff we have to consider, guys, environment. Because people, nobody's perfect, but you want cultured people. You don't want to be around people that are not cultured. The less cultured people are, the more crimes occur. Crimes occur everywhere, but there's more crimes in places that people are not educated, not cultured, like where I was in Hunkiesville. Okay. So environment is everything, and make sure there's practicing Muslims. I could have moved to the west side. I wanted practicing hijab, abaya, not blue jean and rag. Okay. That's important, sisters. All right. So let's see how well you sisters understood this lecture today. Y'all blew my phone up. Let's talk about it for a minute, though. I don't have a problem with y'all calling me, but Lord, sometimes y'all just, woo. Thank God I've been getting up early. If I was still on my night schedule, I'd have been messed up. I wouldn't have had no sleep. But alhamdulillah, I woke up early today. Somebody woke me up, and then y'all started calling right after. But alhamdulillah. So I hope that this lecture answered your questions there. And yes, and for the one sister, yeah, you know what I'm giving you your answer, yes. Okay. All right, let's see how well you guys can answer this quiz. Here the quiz is. The life of a daya ain't easy, is it? We got all types of Muslims, some of them old, some of them brand new, and they need guidance even on where to live. Okay, here we go. First question. Why is it important when marrying to choose a home in a good area? Let's see if y'all were paying attention in my Zoom room. I know the new shahadas were, because they the ones that had these questions. Is anybody in that Zoom room? Oh, here we go. Can somebody tell me, why is it important to choose a home in a good area, a good environment? Simple question. Let me see what they got on YouTube.
Because of the area surround your family, especially your kids with, they adapt to their surroundings. So if you live in a place that's filled with, unlawful things and, bad environment and stuff like that, your kids can adapt to those behaviors and they can make those choices and they do the things that they see around them. So, and if you put them in a place that's, good environment and spiritual, then they can adapt to that spirituality and become better Muslims.
MashaAllah. Good job. Good job. Good job, family. And I'm looking on YouTube at Brother Marar. It's good for the children. You can raise them in a safer environment. Good job. MashaAllah. Yeah, so that's why, guys, the kids are going to take on and become whatever their environment is. You don't want your sons to grow up selling drugs. So why are you we're in a drug-filled environment? Okay? Like Sister Jamila said, why would you want to compromise your children's faith because of their environment? Okay, good job. Good job. Thank you on that, family. Let's look at the next question. Next question. Abdullah has a 7-year-old daughter. He allows her to have non-Muslim friends her age, and he even allows her to spend the night with them. Is this a good idea? Why or why not? What do you guys think of this one?
No, he should not allow her to hang out with them because they could be a bad influence on her.
Good job. Anybody else? So that's one of the kids answering. Good job. So now you understand, if you want to go spend a night over one of your a non-Muslim friend's house, your mother tell you no. Their lifestyle is not like yours. You don't know what they're doing. They could be drinking, doing drugs. And by the way, this happens a lot. A lot of the phone calls that I do get from Muslim women, oh, Layla, I found out that my daughter had been taking oxy. Well, where did she get the oxy from? Her friends. They grew up together. Oh no, you allowed her to be friends with a she's a good girl. Her family are doctors. Well, that's where her friend got the oxy from. So it don't matter if it's a good family, they're still kafir. They're still, their lifestyle, their priorities are not like ours. You don't allow your Muslim children to have non-Muslim friends. Don't do that, guys. All your friends, your children's friends should be Muslims. There's no such thing as a good kafir. And this is something that I have to specify a lot to new shahadas. Oh, she's a good kafir. There's no such thing as a good kafir. A bad Muslim is 1,000,000 times better than a kafir. Because at least that Muslim believes in Allah. You know, don't allow your children around to have non-Muslim friends. Because everybody understands that they're going to pick up their behavior. Good job, Jamila. Their lifestyles are different. Good job, Hadiya, too. Good job. Okay, next question. Hold on. It gets a little tricky now. Many Muslims in America prefer to keep their children in public schools because they say that they are guaranteed better college opportunities. What do you think about this? Who can handle this one? This is something that we hear all the time. This will make a good discussion on the Q&A show. Look at all these Muslims who have their children in public school. And you ask them, why come you don't put your kids in Muslim school? Oh, no, I want my son to be an engineer. The Muslim schools don't have that stuff, the grants and stuff. My kid is guaranteed a better college opportunity. How would you respond to someone like that? What would you say? Come on, guys. It's not hard. All you parents in here. How would you respond to the person that says they keeping their kids in the Catholic school because they want them to go to college?
I wouldn't agree with that because even in a public school, they're not there. They have so many influences and thoughts and, deviated things going around. You don't know if the child is focused. You don't know what's being taught. And a lot of the values are not, positive. So that challenges a lot within your child's life. So how tomorrow can you guarantee me my future? Only Allah can do that. So I don't think that that answer is correct at all.
Okay, that's a good point. First of all, how do you know that your kid is going to even get to college?
Exactly.
But
most
most importantly, what else? What else, guys? What's else most importantly? You putting your Muslim child in a non-Muslim public school, all because of college. Even if they do go to college, is anything compromised here? Come on, people.
I would say that their religion is also compromised because I would say like 75% of the day is spent with the non-Muslims. So with that being said, when they pick up their ideologies and everything that they do, and then they'll become just like them, and they see that it's okay to wear short skirts and to dress like a boy, and girls to do this and girls to do that, then your children will adapt to that lifestyle. Then they'll easily become a non-believer just by going to school.
Exactly. You're throwing your kids in the hellfire, basically. You basically put your own kids in the hellfire, putting them in a public school. Because most kids are having sex by the time they're in the 5th grade. Hello? You exposing her to sex. You're exposing your children to drugs. Most kids get high in the bathroom. They have sex in the cloakroom. Oh, yeah. I grew up in America. I was Muslim, but we didn't have Muslim schools back in the 60s when I grew up. But I held on to my deen and I watched what went on. I saw what was going on in them cloakrooms. I saw the kids, in junior high going in the bathroom to smoke cigarettes and weed and put pills up in their nose and stuff. Subhanallah, you're exposing your children. And then what's going to happen? If it's a girl, she'll put a hijab on when she leave the house. But when she get to school, she take it off. And she got a boyfriend. Hello? She come home saying her stomach hurt because she ate too much, and here her little baby is. Little Kafir baby saying, hi. Not even salam alaikum. The baby gonna come out saying, hi. Instead of salam alaikum. Hello? You did that. You put your kids in the hellfire. That's why I'm telling y'all this public school stuff, you Muslims, y'all, thank God I don't have any kids. My daughter's grown. But if I did have kids, or I would have all my kids homeschooled. My kids would be homeschooled at SafaUSA.org. Hello. And one thing about SafaUSA.org, you get a college degree. You get accreditation for college. So that's garbage now too. The Muslim schools have accreditation too now for college. Yeah, so you got brother Aki. You did. Oh, that's a different. I was gonna say Aki, Brother Aki said he never went to a public school. What kind of school did you go to, brother, as kids? You went to Muslim school? Did you go to Muslim school? Kids, if you did, mashallah, may Allah bless you. Good job. He said he took his son out of school too. Oh, you were homeschooled. That's even better. Yeah, I'm all about homeschooling. And nowadays you can homeschool with Safa USA. That's like heaven. Teaching your kids can get they're right there in the safety of their home, get an education, you know, and also learn about the deen right in your presence. Oh, you're a sister. Good job. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Your public school is bad. Don't put your kids in no public school. That's crazy. But what about this next question? This is what's happening a lot today too. A lot of Muslims would tell you, I don't have my kids in public school. But this is what they do instead. What about this? Why is it unwise to allow your Muslim children to attend Catholic school? This is the big thing that's happening now. Sister Layla, I got my kids in Catholic school. Oh God, do you know how many Muslims are doing that? They're putting their children in Catholic school. Why is this stupid? Can anybody tell us?
Well, my answer is first off, is that you're exposing your children to something Allah forbids and goes against, you know, worshiping something besides him. Like they're worshiping the saints. And I'm telling you this because I used to be Catholic. I grew up Catholic. So all the ritualisms, and these are all the things that are against our faith, against our belief, that Allah said no to. And you know, we can't impose that on our kids or expose that to our kids because it goes against our, you know, our ideology, our faith, our beliefs. And that's a no-no.
Exactly, guys. This is even worse, like she said. Because not only are they still in a Catholic school, exposed to non-people whose lifestyle's not us, but you now done put them with the pagans. Catholics are pagans. They worship idols. You're teaching your child, you're allowing your child to be a Catholic, to go and do mass and pray to Jesus and Mary and Saint Timothy, and to call on the cherubs and stuff with bows and arrows to shoot Valentines in you and all that crazy stuff. This is even worse. But do y'all know that there's a lot of Muslims who are doing this and they think it's a good thing? Sister Layla, you know, I got my daughter in Catholic school now. A'udhu billahi, brother. Some brother came up to me and told me that when I was out at Starbucks one day. This brother said, Sister Layla, I love your classes. And, you know, I listen to you. You know, I got my daughter in Catholic school. A'udhu billahi. Are you crazy? You didn't learn that from me. You done threw your child into the shirk hell, the shirk pits of hell. Why didn't you just homeschool your daughter with SafaUSA.org? Simple to me. So again, guys, good answer. Environment is everything. I think that was the last question. Yeah, it is. And oops, yeah. Environment is everything. And this is the whole thing, guys. The companions understood the importance of environment. They understood the importance of worshiping only Allah alone. So this is why we don't have any early books addressing Wala wal Bara during their time, because that concept was clear to them. It was these later generation of Muslims, like the Muslims we have today. Now we got to discuss what Wala wal Bara is. We need classes on allegiance because we've deviated away from that. We need classes on Tawheed because we don't understand that. All right. So I'm going to stop right here.